So here I just got this model kit of the Thunderjaw, one of the machines from the video game Horizon Zero Dawn. This is one of my favorite video games of all time, and I love the design of the machine animals in it. And about a year ago, this model kit came up for pre-order, and I just jumped at the chance immediately. The odd thing is, they didn't really have any others. It was just the Thunderjaw, which you would think if they're going to start doing like a whole line of model kits, that maybe they would just offer more than the one. But anyway, finally it came around that this was shipping, and just got this the other day. Decided to make this video, and so far there's no other machine animals that have showed up for pre-order or anything. But let's take a look at this here. So removing all the parts was fairly easy. And, you know, even if you have a good pair of nippers, sometimes you have to go along with a razor blade or sandpaper and get a little nub that doesn't quite come off. I probably only had 2 or 3 parts where I had to do it. All the parts came off very, very clean, which was nice. I found it interesting that there's 4 white parts here for the head where they have a little orange rectangle actually painted onto it, and that's the way the part came on the rail, and that's a little surprising because that's the only place they've done that. These ammo belts, or whatever they're supposed to be, are made from a very, very rubbery plastic that allows them to flex with the head. They're pretty cool. So I assembled the entire model in just 2 evenings. Just at a guess, I would say maybe 3, 4 hours at most. There wasn't a ton of parts. I didn't really take notice to count them or anything like that. I can't help but think as I'm assembling this how awesome this kit would be if it was done by Bandai as like a perfect grade Gundam kit or something with layers and layers of additional parts. That'd be so cool. When it comes to models, parts count is very important for me because I get a lot of the enjoyment out of the building process, almost more so than having the final product. It's one reason why I gravitate towards only master grade and perfect grade Gundam kits, because I've had my fair share of just regular standard grade ones, and the build process just happens too fast. So I really like a kit with a ton of parts. I'd like it if this one had more, but considering it is the only one I've ever seen available, a model kit of these machines, I'll take what I can get. So here we go. It's all finished for the most part. Has a decent amount of posability around the guns, and the head and neck can move somewhat. Wish it had a little bit more range, like the legs just kind of have it really crouched down. The tail seems to have more hinge points than it can actually really do. I mean, some of the hinge points don't give it really much maneuverability. Overall, it's a pretty decent kit. This is the first time, of course, that I got anything from Goodsmile. So far, this is the only Horizon Zero Dawn kit that they have. I pre-ordered this a long time ago. I kind of hope they do some more of the animals, because I really, really love all the machine designs from those games. Check that down a little bit more. This is one of the biggest machines from the game. So if they made more, I don't know if they would actually make them to scale, because otherwise some would be really, really, really tiny. I would prefer all the machines to scale, obviously, but if this is about the biggest, then a lot of the machines will be much, much smaller. I was going to go ahead and put all the decals on this before anything else. However, the problem I realized is that they are water slides. Now, I know some people prefer water slides. They think, oh, models look more professional or whatever. I hate them, like, with a passion. Because back when I was a little kid, I used to put together a lot of model kits. I had pretty much every Star Wars vehicle they made. I had pretty much every Star Trek vehicle they made. And none of those were snapped together. They were all glued together, and they all had water slide decals, which I did an okay job with them. But if you use just regular tap water, then what happens is over time they tend to yellow, and then they don't look so good. So I prefer just peel and stick decals. So I'm really torn on whether I'm even going to attempt to put all of those on. Like, I would rather straight up paint every one of these than try to apply them. Just paint those areas gold or blue or whatever. Ugh, I hate these. So as far as quality goes and assembly, again, this is Goodsmile. I'm used to doing a lot of Gundam kits done by Bandai that are like super precision, very, very well done. I think this quality is maybe a little bit less than Bandai, but not a whole lot. I think the biggest problem I had was the instructions weren't all that great. There were some areas where it was just a little bit on the confusing side, because the images are not great, especially when you're dealing with parts that are really dark colored like that, like this, and they'll show something going into a pin, and it's like, good grief, you can't really see the detail in there. So I think some of their coloring at the very least could be better. This had me looking for parts for quite some time, because I kept looking at this and thinking this was 17 and 18, and I'm like, but what letter are they? And I was driving myself nuts until I found out that that is I7 and I8. Because, I mean, it looks like it could be a 1. Granted, yes, their 1 has a little hook on, but yeah, so that was kind of confusing. And like I said, having the extra dark colors make it really hard to see the orientation of some of the parts. Other than that, pretty straightforward. Not as many parts as like a Gundam Master Grade kit would have. This would be more like a standard grade. Which is fine, because nobody else makes a kit of these machines. So I'm pretty much on board with anyone that actually makes them. You can see with the decals and some extra painting, this could be absolutely incredible. But you look here at like this piece, and I guess that is one of these large decals here. I could be wrong. Maybe that's somewhere else. Maybe that is painted, but it looks like it's part of the gold. And it's like, man, doing something like that and it has a wrap around it, I think I would rather just paint it, honestly. So I'll have to see what I want to do. Obviously, could use some line work to draw out some of the detail, and I'll show it off, I think, when I'm done figuring all that out.